When discussing the history of ancient Indian romance, the Kama Sutra dominates the conversation. It casts a massive shadow over our understanding of early sexuality. While that text is famous today, medieval lovers relied on a different authority, a manual known as the Aslika Koka Shastra. This index page from the original text proves we are dealing with a wild mix of the sacred, the medical, and the profane. You will find remedies for night blindness and gonorrhea sitting directly adjacent to step-by-step instructions for sexual embraces. The book establishes its authority right away with an origin story. It explains that a brilliant minister named Koka Pandit wrote this entire blueprint specifically to educate a king who was struggling to conceive an heir. Modern society separates health, psychology, and sex into totally different disciplines. This text argues that mastering the bedroom is impossible without first mastering your own biology. The primary rule of the Shastra is clear. A physically pure, perfectly functioning body is the non-negotiable prerequisite for good sex. It outlines an ancient biological pipeline where digestion transforms ordinary food into juice, then blood, and eventually flesh. The culmination of this pipeline is a vital energy that produces ojas, a spiritual, attractive glow that radiates from a healthy person. The text pairs Sanskrit verses with Hindi translations to document microscopic observations of reproductive fluids, known as virya. The authors observed sperm insects swimming like frog tadpoles. They even noted that these organisms could survive inside the body for up to 72 hours. Ancient scholars viewed sexual vitality as the ultimate biological indicator of peak overall health, inextricably linked to the rest of the body's internal systems. Having your internal plumbing working perfectly means almost nothing if you cannot read your partner's mind. The text provides rigorous psychological training, teaching men how to spot the subtle physical symptoms of a woman's rising passion. It lists specific markers of climax, pointing out involuntary cues, like the body trembling and intense emotional shifts. Conversely, it dedicates significant space to atripty, the behavioral signs of deep dissatisfaction in a partner. The manual warns that a dissatisfied partner will exhibit specific negative behaviors, turning to physical withdrawal or aggressive, closed-off posture changes. By documenting these exact physical cues, the text trains the reader to be a rigorous, empathetic scholar of their partner's psychological state. Only after the body is purified and the mind is understood does the manual finally permit the physical mechanics of sex. This graphic illustrates the text's strict system of physical and energetic compatibility, categorizing men and women into harmonic animal pairings to find ideal alignments. This section shows that harmony must extend beyond the couple's bodies and align perfectly with the surrounding environment and the shifting seasons. It outlines specific environmental conditions for intimacy, heavily favoring springtime and warm, rainy summer nights. The physical instructions are intensely specific and poetic, like the Lata Veshtit embrace, where one partner wraps around the other like a climbing vine. The text treats these physical movements as a choreography of environment and emotion. Viewed as a whole, the Koka Shastra functions as a practical guide to coordinating health, psychology, and romance. The authors issue a severe warning. Chasing sexual pleasure without physical health or spiritual reference will inevitably destroy the body. This passage details the exact consequences for those who treat intimacy casually, showing how reckless greed and ignoring your own biology leads directly to physical ruin. By linking diet and environment directly to romantic success, the text demonstrates an early understanding of the interdependence between physical health and psychological intimacy. A vibrant romantic life is simply the natural byproduct of a perfectly balanced body and a deeply attentive mind.